What if the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs came back for round 2? Could humans survive it? Rumors about asteroids hitting Earth show up almost every year. One headline says this rock is coming. Another says that one is getting close. At some point, it feels less like Earth is a planet and more like the unlucky player in a cosmic bumper car arena. But asteroid impacts themselves are not actually that rare. Every year, dozens of small objects enter Earth's atmosphere. The reason we usually do not notice is simple. Most of them are too small. Before they can even start acting like the apocalypse, they burn up in the atmosphere. For us, it is not the end of the world. It is more like space gently scratching Earth's front door. The crazy part is how many asteroids there are in the solar system, especially in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, where space is basically full of cosmic gravel. That sounds terrifying, right? Like Earth is surrounded by suspicious little rocks, all waiting for their chance to perform a surprise attack. But Earth has survived this long for a reason. And besides being very lucky, we also have a heavyweight bodyguard, Jupiter. Jupiter is more than 300 times the mass of Earth. The bigger the mass, the stronger the gravity. And in space, bigger usually means stronger. So if a lot of small objects want to cause trouble near Earth, they first have to deal with Jupiter. Its huge gravity can affect their orbits, pull them around, redirect them, or keep them from wandering freely. In a way, Earth is not just standing alone in space with no protection. There is a giant security guard standing out front. So now back to the scary question. If another dinosaur-killer asteroid came toward Earth, what would happen to us? That asteroid was roughly 10 kilometers wide. If you were extremely lucky and happened to be standing directly under the impact point, then you would not really need an escape plan. You would not be injured. You would not be unconscious. You would simply be promoted into the carbon cycle. No pain, no drama, and maybe millions of years later, you could make a comeback as a fossil in a science documentary. But if you were far away from the impact site, things would be more complicated. The impact would not just make a giant crater. It could trigger massive earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, and throw huge amounts of dust into the atmosphere. That dust could block sunlight, disturb the climate, and damage the food chain. The dinosaurs were not all deleted instantly by one rock. The impact caused the ecosystem to collapse step by step, and many species simply could not survive the aftermath. So if humans faced an impact on that scale, we probably would not be sane. Yeah, no big deal. The surface environment could become extremely harsh. Farming, cities, transportation, energy systems, all of it could take a serious hit. At that point, the problem is not whether you still have a nice apartment. The problem is that the surface of Earth might switch into survival mode. Humans might survive, but quality of life could go from modern civilization to underground bunker simulator very quickly. But to be fair, modern humans are not just going to stand there and catch an asteroid with our faces. Small objects are usually not a big concern, because most of them burn up before they even touch the ground. And for truly dangerous large asteroids, humans are not completely helpless either. In movies, an asteroid usually looks like a giant fireball charging straight at Earth like an angry bowling ball. But in reality, asteroids have their own orbits. They are not just flying around randomly. They move according to the rules of the solar system. A collision only happens if Earth's orbit and the asteroid's orbit meet at the wrong place at the wrong time. So the basic idea for stopping an impact is actually simple. Either change Earth's orbit or change the asteroid's orbit. Changing Earth's orbit sounds like trying to avoid one car by moving the entire city. Very bold. Also completely ridiculous. So the more practical option is to slightly change the asteroid's path. A lot of people immediately think, just nuke it. It sounds cool, but space is not a Hollywood movie. In the vacuum of space, there is no air, so a nuclear explosion does not create a giant shockwave the way people imagine. Also, blowing an asteroid into pieces may not solve the problem. You might turn one big disaster into many smaller disasters. That is like splitting one huge homework assignment into 50 smaller ones. It sounds better for the seconds, and then your life gets worse. The real goal is not always to destroy the asteroid. Sometimes, you just need to push it a little. If you do it early enough, even a tiny change in its path can grow over a huge distance. By the time it reaches Earth's neighborhood, it might miss us completely. Humans have already tested the idea of crashing a spacecraft into an asteroid to change its orbit. The concept is very simple: not explode it, just hit it. It is basically like using a tiny car to bump a space truck. But on cosmic scales, if you act early enough, even a small change can matter. There is also a gentler idea called the gravity tractor. The idea is to send a spacecraft near the asteroid and fly alongside it. No crash, no explosion. Just awkwardly follow it around. Because the spacecraft has mass, it also has gravity. Over time, that tiny gravitational pull could slowly change the asteroid's path. It is like pulling a giant rock with an invisible thread. It sounds absurd, but space is very good at turning tiny changes into huge results. If the asteroid shifts just a little bit early enough, it may not hit Earth at all. It may simply pass by, like the universe almost ruined our day but missed. Of course, all of these methods depend on one very important thing. We have to find the asteroid early. If humans discover a dangerous asteroid years in advance, we have time to calculate its orbit, build a plan, launch spacecraft, and maybe try more than one solution. But if it is going to hit tomorrow, and we only notice it today, then things get awkward fast. That is like remembering your holiday homework on the last night of vacation. It is not that you do not want to try. Time just refuses to cooperate. So the truly scary part is not that asteroids exist. The scary part is discovering a dangerous one too late. Still, there is no need to lose sleep over every asteroid headline. A lot of scary titles exist because titles do not get clicks. If nobody exaggerates, how will the clickbait channel survive? Think of the economy. In the end, asteroids are very realistic objects. They follow whoever has the stronger gravity. And Jupiter, the heavyweight boss of the solar system, has helped block, redirect, and control a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, human monitoring and planetary defense technology are also getting better. So if the dinosaurs had modern human technology, maybe they would not have gone extinct quite so helplessly. Sadly, they did not have observatories. They did not have spacecraft. They did not have NASA. They only had tiny arms. And we at least have warning systems, space probes, and a very reliable solar system security guard named Jupiter. That is it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.